There are some big changes that are happening right now. Every day, new changes as this Trump shooter investigation unfolds. A lot of questions that Americans are asking where things don't add up. I am brought back to what happened with JFK the day that his motorcade left in Texas, and the two Secret Service members that were to be on the back of that car standing on the bumper were told to stand down, get off. And you could see the video clearly when they raised their hands, going, "What are you doing? This isn't normal." It wasn't normal. And there are a lot of things that are not normal about this exact incident, and I want to talk about them. We see that, like JFK, the Secret Service members that knew that they were on the back were there for two reasons. One, for immediate response if needed during an emergency, a threat or an attack on the president's life, and also to provide a blockage for a would-be attacker to be able to hit the president. But that day they were called off. And there are so many questions about a sloped roof that means nothing. And I want to show you a video of the head of the Secret Service that was appointed by Joe Biden himself in a very serious time in 2022, when there was a scandal going on in the Secret Service about text messages being deleted, information or emails being deleted during that time. And this person, which used to work and is very close to the Cheneys, was appointed. There are so many questions about the fit for duty of the certain officers, female officers that were there that day, that one cared more about putting their sunglasses on and standing at attention and looking good, one that could not holster their weapon properly. The actions of those people, there's a photo of one of the Secret Service women that are ducked down, hunkered down, taking cover with her weapon drawn, but not extended, low in a hunched position, as soldiers, men, are charging past her in a standing position, guns pointed, with authority, using their tactical training when it was needed the most. We are seeing massive discrepancies of why, when you look at the map of the actual shooting incident, why wasn't there a sharpshooter, a sniper posted on top of that roof, but instead a shooter, a killer, an attacker was allowed to get on that roof, somehow being able to put a ladder up against it, carry an AR-15 and ammunition, and to see the shooter, something is not right. Now, Joe Biden screwed this up. Now think about this. This is a situation that we have right now where the left would have loved. Think about this. What if Donald Trump's head had not turned that second and allowed the bullet to move right through the top of his ear? 1 centimeter difference, it would have been grazing through his skull. At minimum, 1 centimeter. It was a true miracle that he did not die that day. But think about what the left would have done. They would have been trying to incite a civil war. But ironically, I truly believe that the right would not have. They would have been devastated, in complete mourning and in grief. So many questions. But the right wouldn't have fired off like I believe the left would have wanted them to. However, the left would have been able to use a weaponized type of human being, a group called Antifa, to dress up, simply throw "Make America Great Again" hats on and Donald Trump t-shirts and go out and incite violence. That would have been the dream come true. I have personally witnessed Antifa members try to incite a riot in my hometown. Young men that had a little wire coming out of their shirt, going right up here to an earpiece, running around town with a bullhorn, trying to incite violence in my own hometown, trying to start a riot. And this is what I believe happened during January 6th. I know someone personally that went to January 6th, a firefighter, and by around in the early afternoon, him and his friends said they saw so many things wrong. There were people that were trying to incite a riot. There were people trying to encourage a riot. And my friend, which is an amazing right thinking person. And when I mean right, it's not only a political side, it's the right way of thinking, a good human being that wants the best for his family, his community, and his nation, said, you know what? Something's wrong and we need to leave. I know of a personal high-ranking official in the government that called me on that day because he was locked. I'm not joking. He was called back from another country and locked in a hotel room and told, there is about to be an insurrection and we need you all here. He calls me and goes, what is going on outside? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, they won't tell us what's going on, but they said something bad is about to happen. And I am with a bunch of high-ranking government officials around the world right now in this hotel, mere blocks away, and they're not telling us what's going on. It was a planned event. And what we're seeing right now is exactly that. It was a planned event. To think when we see certain people in our Secret Service that were acting a certain way around Trump, that doesn't seem right. I believe it wasn't, and I believe it was planned. The head of the Secret Service, and I want to play this clip for you right now. She, a woman appointed by Joe Biden in the middle of the January 6th controversy as data was being deleted and destroyed, comes in. I've seen her give, not testimony, but speak about DEI and how they need to hire more ethnic groups outside of white males. And she says, especially women. I have personally watched the fire service be torn down. I will say this with the utmost confidence. In my entire career, I have met 3 women firefighters that have so much amazing tenacity, strength, and ability and knowledge to be able to go in and do something to help pull us out of a fire if we collapse. But I have seen the fire service be destroyed, not only by them changing policies to suit the masses, like taking away our physical, our requirements, our minimum requirements for physical fitness, by taking away the annual test that we used to have to complete to show how much strength we had and endurance we had, an annual physical agility test, which has been gone for well over a decade, which now ushers in a type of person that cannot physically drag another human being out of a fire. We're seeing that also in law enforcement. Now, on the world stage, we have seen so many different camera angles of this shooting event that during the event, we have seen now proof that people were screaming, there's a shooter on the roof, and nothing's going on. We see that a police officer engaged with the shooter, speaking with him, identified that there was a shooter, and then left the roof. This could not have been possible without live broadcasts on the average individual, the average American cell phone, going on to the one platform that they can do this on, which was X. And now there's tons of questions swirling. And remember, what normally happens with the head of any organization that has a massive blunder, a massive failure, they resign. But yet, in a world where we are faced and forced to deal with this DEI, this is what comes out of this. And this is an interview with the director of the Secret Service. I want to show you this for one quick second.
What was your reaction when you saw the events unfold on Saturday?
Shock, and then concern, obviously, for the former president. This is an event that should have never happened.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service is responsible for the protection of the former president.
So the buck stops with you?
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
The president and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you. But there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
So here we're in a situation where we have a head of an organization that is refusing to step down in the wake of absolute failure. Absolute failure. And there are so many questions to be thought of, but think about the left's desire to incite a riot in our country, the left's desire to watch a group of people come together and simply put actors, paid professional actors, in right-wing style clothing, chanting right-wing style phrases, and then going and destroying things. And then the mass media, their ability to be able to just point fingers and go, look, over here, it's not us, it's them. And there are so many minds in America that are still moldable, people that would see a video like that and go, well, there's these right-wing extremists. I do not, quite frankly, believe that. Quite frankly, I believe that there are most people, and they are voting for Donald Trump in this next election. And I am so grateful that God protected him from that bullet and stopped the left's ability to incite any kind of gatherings which would turn into riots, because they would have these people dress up and play the part just like they did on January 6th, so that the left could celebrate and use that and run with it. I'm grateful that that was stopped. But I will tell you, I believe in the near future, we are going to see more gatherings coming together where people are going to incite violence. And I want you to understand that that is not the right. That is not our way. It is going to get rougher. But we have to continue questioning and posting. And I thank everyone that is willing to share videos like this and other videos that expose the truth or question the narrative, so that good-hearted Americans that are on the sideline right now can see the full picture and make a good, educated, wise decision for themselves, which will only take our country into a better position than it is now. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.